Okay, let's try again. So, Vilaliv, 1921. So Nimzo-Indian this time. Okay, let's play E3. I think it's called the Rubinstein variation after Akiba Rubinstein. So I'll just castle here. So I've kept the bishop blocked in on C1, but you know, White's ready to liberate. Well, he's liberated it anyway, so he can come to G5 now. So we could get a nice late queen pawn situation if he plays, say, knight D5. With ED, I think bishop G5 is it's okay, unless, I don't know, bishop G4. Not 100% sure. Okay, so here it looks as though bishop H7 might be an interesting move. Greek gift takes knight G5. King moves queen H5, but then there's knight F6. So I don't think that quite works unless I take on D5 first. Queen D5, bishop, then knight, and then queen. But then the thing is, the king might go to G6. So I don't think the attack's that brilliant there. So in other words, let's just play normally. Play simple chess. So how do I do that? Okay, so C3 is under pressure. I could maybe take on D5, but let's try and provoke with knight E4. So if F5 is weakening E5, and that will give me a chance to kick the bishop, maybe A3, and then move this bishop, and then the queen in front of the bishop to H7 rather crudely. So that's all, you know, knight E4 avoids having to play a passive move. Okay, I'll play A3 now, just to stop these knight B4s. So still, I'm not worried about F5, because I want to weaken, you know, the E5 square. So I'm moving now to rearrange the pieces against H7 rather crudely. But that is a benefit of the isolated queen pawn situation. I'll go in here, I think. Now, I suppose there isn't going to be an easy splat sort of move, but there's weakness provocation moves if I can provoke a weakness. Now maybe H4. So will he play F6, for example? In fact, am I threatening knight D6? Maybe even knight takes F7 if he's not careful, or just H5. So I'm trying to provoke some sort of weakness by this seemingly crazy move, this H4. So maybe knight E takes G5, threatening knight F7, knight G5, and knight H7, and queen G6. Just dismantling this triangle. But on the other hand, he's got moves as well. He's got knight F4. So he doesn't have to allow any of that. So he's going on that F4. I can play G3 maybe to protect my F4 square. I think I'll do that actually. So can I still proceed to try and weaken his king with H5? Well, he's weakened his king now a bit, so I'll make just knight E4. In fact, look at these squares on the queen side. He can't neglect these. Maybe knight C5 and D6 will be useful. So if the queen goes over there, you know, maybe knight D6. So queen G7, knight D6. Alright, now here, can I provoke a bit more? Maybe H5. So these pawns to come a bit more forward. In fact, if G5, then knight takes G5, and my queen can come in for the kill. So, in fact, you know, this H6 was loosening. This triangle is now not so much of a solid triangle anymore. I've still got a lot of pressure. Okay, so finally F5. So he's starting to weaken himself quite a bit. So knight C5 looks as though that's interesting move. I can even switch to this diagonal maybe. Sacking a piece, I'm not sure about that. Can't see anything too clear. Blockade with queen G7 in a bit. So I think I'll go in here on this dark square. So G takes. I don't know. Okay, what about these dark squares though here, or just G4 here? There's knight F4, knight E5. Knight E5 looks tempting, just to dominate these holes, E5 and C5 holes. As we saw in a Grandmaster game recently, that was like completely decisive in the Russian Championship when Svidler had these holes, I think. So if we can just double up on E6, or I can switch to this diagonal, so I can double up rooks or play bishop b3. Another plan is g4, but that's a bit more controversial because I think knight f4. Don't want to give the f4 square to the opponent. Maybe just rook e1 has immediate tactical threats, but I don't want to give up two rooks for the queen. So I think I'm more thinking about d5 and e6 here. Let's go over here then. Oh, there was... Oh, no, there wasn't queen f5. But now look, d5, e6 looks weak. In fact, bishop d5 here attacks the rook. How does he defend? Okay, he's just left his rook. So that's pretty good, I think. This position. Bishop a6 will just take. So I can go back for more, I think, with bishop d5. Back on this e6. In fact, even queen f5 looks tempting now. Queen f5 takes will be pinned. Queen f5 looks like a move. In fact, takes rook e8 is possible. So queen f5. Or have I just given up a piece back? I'm not sure. No, I think I just take his queen and I'm still a rook up. So I take here. I just take the queen. And just go for the pawn now. Just a rook up. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. So the Rubinstein variation of the Nimzo-Indian. So I played knight e4. I didn't want to play a defensive move like bishop d2. So I think this was quite interesting and provocative, knight e4, because really want black to play something like f5. So I think the controversy here, though, for me is h4. On the other hand, maybe it's right in this position. I don't know. His pieces are a bit passive. The bishop, although it's gone to d7, where is it going after that? And this combination playing a5, it doesn't look right somehow. So maybe this play by white is actually stands up a bit, even in a longer time control. So now obviously he's just lost material. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.